Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Alinga Sise and this is Alinga Sise Lifestyle. For all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I am so grateful. And for those who are still new, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Let us make this channel to reach 1K subscribers and I'll be so grateful. Today I'm super excited. First of all, it has been long since we last uploaded our video, but trust me that I have come back to teach you more about poultry farming. And today I want us to look at how you can become successful in poultry farming. So many of you out there still fear to start this project because first of all, some people started and their birds died, or you've also started the project and you ended up quitting it because maybe your birds died, or the birds were not laying, or the birds didn't put on weight. Those are the stories that we have in poultry farming. And then also maybe you have seen so many people, because right now we have so many YouTube channels talking about poultry farming. So maybe you've also seen so many people become successful in this project. And you're wondering, how can I do this project and become successful? Or how can I restart poultry farming and become successful? So those are the things we are going to be discussing today. But first of all, before even you start the project, you must have the love and the passion for the project, okay? Because if you have the love and the passion for the project, whichever challenges come your way, you're going to be able to handle it. Because honestly, there are so many challenges that are in poultry farming. Just like any other business or any other project, trust me, poultry farming also has its own challenges. But someone who have the love and the passion for this project, trust me, you will whichever challenge comes your way, you're going to withstand it and you're going to continue doing the poultry business. First of all, me myself, in the beginning when I started the project, I had so many challenges. First of all, I was a junior. I didn't know anything to do with poultry farming. And I remember that time there were not so many YouTube channels that could talk about poultry farming, like could give you full details, just like the way I am giving nowadays, or so many other channels are giving full details about poultry farming. So it was about gambling. So I was also gambling in the beginning in a way that I also lost a lot of birds. I lost a lot of money due to not knowing what to do. But because of the love and the passion that I had, that is why I'm still doing this project. 7 years now, I'm doing poultry farming. And by the way, very soon we are going to have new chicks and we are going to learn so many things about these new birds, because each flock comes with its own new things, its own challenges, its own success story. So please, first of all, you must have the love and the passion for the project. And then secondly, you must have a very good constructed chicken house. Okay, why would I say this is second? Because you cannot bring the birds without the chicken house. Okay, and the chicken house should be, okay, there are different types of chicken houses. We have the permanent chicken house, we have the semi-permanent chicken house, and we have the temporary chicken house. Okay, so for someone who do not have enough money, you can just make a temporary chicken house, but in a way that it is well ventilated, because the birds need fresh air. And then it should be in a way that rodents such as rats, such as cats, such as wild birds cannot access the chicken house. And then you should construct it in a way that the roof do not leak whenever it is raining, because that is one challenge that so many farmers have. When there's rain, you find that their chicken houses are leaking, and when those chickens dropping mix with the water, that is where diseases like coccidiosis come in. That is where birds will get a lot of diarrhea. That is where birds will not end up putting on weight. Birds will end up not laying because of some of these challenges. And then also the chicken house should not be overcrowded. Okay, for the broilers you need at least 7 to 8 birds in 1 square meter, but for the layers you need from 4 to around 6 birds in 1 square meter. That is the only way you're going to make your birds perform well, if they are not overcrowded. The chicken house must not be overcrowded at all. And then the litter in the chicken house must always be cleaned at least 4 to 6 months for those who are doing layers. But for the broilers, I remember when I had broilers, I used to almost clean the house every 2 weeks, because sometimes you'll end up having those broilers for 6 weeks, maximally 8 weeks. But in 2 weeks, you should always be cleaning the chicken house. So make sure the chicken house is well constructed, well ventilated, not overcrowded, and it is like the hygiene there should be at top notch. And then thirdly, the type of birds you choose also matters. Okay. There are so many birds. We have the local birds, we have the broilers, we have the croilers, and we have the improved local birds. So which one do you want to start with? Now, when we come to the layers, we also have different breeds in layers. We have the Isa Brown, we have the Lowman Brown, we have the Brown Neck. Those are the ones that are very familiar, like very common here in Uganda. Okay. Now, for me currently, I have the Lowman Brown, and honestly, the Lowman Brown has done me so well because their performance is still good. Right now, the birds have now laid for 70 weeks, but still I am at 70% egg production. So that means those birds are performing well. So the type of the breeds that you choose also matters. That is also one thing that leads to the success of your project. Okay, because there are some breeds that are not disease resistant, but breeds like the Isa Brown, like the Lowman Brown, like the Islands. Okay, I haven't yet. Okay, I have had only the Brown Neck, then I've had the Isa Brown, and then currently I have the Lowman Brown. But the next flock I'll have the Isa Brown. But honest, the Isa Brown and the Lowman Brown, they are so disease resistant, because once your birds are also disease resistant, it makes them like they will not always get sick, because there are so many chicken diseases. So the breeds also matters, and the type of birds you deal in also matters. Now, when we talk about the local birds, so many of us think that the local birds don't it's not for business, of which somehow it is true, because they don't grow very fast like these exotic birds. So you should also consider that if you have enough money, you can go for the exotic birds. But if you don't have enough money, you can always start small with our local indigenous birds. And then also you have to consider feeding. Poultry farming, that is the major core is feeding. You must feed those birds well, be it the local birds, be it the broilers, be it the layers. You must feed them well. If you don't feed your birds well, trust me, your birds are not going to perform. For the layers, they will not even lay at 18 weeks, or they will start laying very well and they will drop in laying. If they start laying, there must be a standard time. You will always give them the feeds. When you say 6 in the morning, 6 in the morning sharp, you must give them the feeds. If you say at 1 p.m., at 1 p.m. sharp, you must give those birds the feeds. Now for me here, I normally feed these birds early in the morning at 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and then at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So that time must always be kept. That is the only way your birds are going to lay constantly without dropping, and that's the only way your birds are going to pick on good weight, and that is the only way you're going to be successful in poultry farming. Now, when we talk about diseases, this project has so many chicken diseases that attacks these birds, especially if you don't do good vaccination in the beginning. That is for the exotic birds. And the most important thing is biosecurity. Biosecurity is very, very important in this project, in a way that you should not allow free entry and exit into your poultry houses. Now, for us who are doing the project at home, sometimes you find that you will not be able to control visitors from coming at home. So the only solution is limiting the entry of people inside the chicken house. And sometimes maybe you can put the disinfectant in front there, so that even you, the farmer, whenever you're entering there, all the workers, they must first disinfect their feet before entering the chicken house. Now, some people, even you have to change the attires that you've come with from out. Now, for me here, I normally enter there with an overall, but my other colleague normally do not put on the overall, but make sure that disinfects her feet and the boots before entering the chicken house. So biosecurity is very, very important in this project. Okay, then you have to also avoid stress among these birds. Now, stress comes in different ways. If you don't feed the birds well, they get stressed. If so many people keep entering the chicken house, they also get stressed. If you enter there with different clothes, like with so many shouting colors, you realize the birds start running up and down. That also stresses the birds. And then also when those birds are sick, when those birds are not giving clean drinking water, when they also have pests, they also get stressed. So you must also always try to limit stress in this birds. Okay, that is the only way you're going to be successful in the project. Then when we talk about the pests, there are so many pests that disturb these birds, especially the fleas and the mites. Now, like currently, my birds are again infested by these fleas, and yet I have dusted the birds over 4 times now. I have managed to eliminate all the rats, but I think by the time I was now taking an action to eliminate the rats, the fleas were already coming back. So I have the task of cleaning the chicken house, removing all the litter which is there, and dusting these birds, of which we are going to do all this together. I will show you all the processes that is going to happen, but it also stresses the birds. You find that it also makes your birds not to produce well, and at the end of it all, you end up not becoming successful in poultry farming. So those are some of the major things you must consider if you want to be successful in this project. And then also lastly, you, the owner of the farm, you must always be present. Some of you have started the project just as a part-time project to earn them some extra income, but as you're working also elsewhere, make sure that you don't forget about the farm. At least once or twice in a week, come in your farm, check and see what is going on, so that at least you can know what is going on. Because sometimes if you over absent yourself, you will find that workers will end up stealing the feeds, workers will end up stealing the eggs. At the end of, even workers will end up stealing the chicken itself. So at the end of it all, you end up failing in the projects. So those are some of the ways that you can be successful in this project. Please let us follow the guidelines if we want to be successful. So right now we are going to feed our birds and we shall call it a day. See you right inside the farm. So guys, every time when you're giving your birds feeds, you must weigh the feeds, and you must have a weighing scale just like mine here, which is very accurate. Okay, so out of we have currently 313 birds, and I'm giving them 38 kilograms of feeds every day, of which 20 kilograms I give early morning at 6:30, and then 18 kilograms I give at 1 p.m. like this. So I normally first weigh the feeds. So for everyone out there planning to do the project, you must always weigh your feeds. You must consider a weighing scale. So this one is 12 kilograms. So that means we are going to first give this. Then after we shall come back for more 6 kilograms of feed. So this is 12. Okay, 12 and some grams. But since we have the bucket also there, so let's consider it as 12 kilograms. So let's take this to the farm. Wow, let's go. They are busy waiting for feed. The bird's appetite is too high.
So for today, that is all I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for loving me. But if you're still new, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Let us make this channel to reach 1K subscribers and I'll be so grateful. See you next time. I love you all. Bye-bye.